Hello, my name is Sammy, and over a year ago I made a video on how I made this trident. So I get a lot of questions about this trident. This is probably my most popular video to date on how I made this trident. As you can see, it's held up pretty well. I've had a bit of bumps and bruises, but it's still here. I'm making this video because of all of the questions I get asked about the trident, and I thought it would be better to get all of the questions that I got asked so far done in this video so that way you can know everything that I know. I don't know everything, but let's get going. The first question I got was how long the wooden dowel I used was. Mine was 1 meter long, which is the basic length of the wooden dowels that I could find. I found that they were all roughly 1 meter long, so I used that. I didn't trim anything down, but if you find something longer, by all means, cut it down. Here are some conversions as to how big a meter is in other measurements, so please feel free to check that out. I'll also put it down below. I also got asked about making sea dweller ears and just fin ears in general. I might make them, but personally when I did my cosplay, which you can check here, I bought mine and then I painted them grey because I found that was simpler and just easier for me to do. I've seen plenty of tutorials online about making fin ears, so maybe you could check out some of those if you want to. You should try to make Nepetta's hat. I don't want to. I love making hats. Hats are fun to make, but I don't plan on using it, so I probably won't do that, sorry. Could you do for fairy's skirt? I was going to make for fairy's skirt. I was going to record me making mine, but I found that I did mine by eye. I draped my whole skirt on me, and it's by no means perfect. Mine was to my standards. And there are, again, plenty of tutorials online that you can look at, plenty of measurements. It's all up to your personal thoughts on how you want it to look, so I suppose I could do some basic tutorials on how to make skirts and how to drape things, but yeah, if you want to see some of those draping DIY things, comment down below. Tell me, because I might do it, maybe. Who knows? What size wire did you use and where did you get the wire? So my size wire, I'm really not sure because I kind of took it from my art room when I was in high school. I was going to use it for a separate project and I had more left, so I just used what was left over. I know that you can get the craft wire at basic craft stores. I've seen it in coils, so you might be able to find it. If not, just find a wire that you think will be sturdy enough. Don't use jewellery making wire because that's not going to help you. Use something more industrial if you want to, just know that it won't be as easy to bend. What were you watching on your laptop? I was watching the Let's Read Homestuck series because I was brushing up on my knowledge in case someone tried to question me. No one questioned me. Too much pink! Not enough pink! Can you do one for troll horns? I could definitely do a how I made my horns, but my horns aren't as easy to make as other horns. I know that some people use model magic or clay or foam. I personally use craft wood because I find that's a lot sturdier and then I can screw it into the wigs just by using a basic screw in a flat surface. It's just how I did it. I found that it worked a lot nicer and it was very light. So I might, but again, there are some better tutorials that are actual tutorials and not just how I made things, because how I make things is not always the best way to make things. Keep that in mind, my beautiful people. How much does foam clay cost? So foam clay can be found in a variety of different prices. The ones that I got were like $2.70 a packet, which isn't very much. But there are some that range from different prices. There are different brands. A lot of different things come into play. I just know that mine costs $2.70. Will you do more Homestuck tutorials? I hate to tell you guys, but probably not. I have kind of fallen out of the Homestuck fandom a little bit. I still love it. I think that it was a great experience for me. I met a lot of people, a lot of friends, but it's not as big of a deal in my life anymore. I have made a tail tutorial, which you can check out down below or here, and it's how I made my Mulan tail. So if you want to check that out. It's really basic, so if you need a tail, check it out. Can you use the Trident in water too? Someone else actually answered this question, and yeah, apparently you can. I haven't tried it personally, but so long as you use a paint that is not water-based, you should be fine. Don't use something like poster paint, use something like acrylic or spray paint like I use, because it will stay on. Apparently you can use it underwater, so great. Yeah! How much time did it take you to make the Trident? Mine took a few days because it took drying time and painting time and just general things. I took my time, but someone else had made it and said they took about 5 hours to make it. So it depends on how fast you work. If you work really, really fast, then you might even get it done like 5 hours, like that incredible person in the comments. Or you could be like me and take your time. Don't rush, you got plenty of time. A whole life to live. What's the name of this white thing? I read this question. I still don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about me? Are you talking about my cat? Are you talking about the clay? I'll answer all 3 of those questions. I'm Sammy. I have a cat called Nugget. And the white stuff was the clay. I don't know if you were talking... What brand of clay did you use and where did you get it from? I used a brand from Daiso or Daisyo, depending on how you pronounce it. It's an Australian and Japanese brand. Mainly Japanese. Everything's like $2.80, which is incredible. How do you style wire? I just bent mine with my hands and then used some pliers where needed to be. It's not too hard. Don't use something too industrial that you won't be able to maneuver. And again, don't use jewelry making wire because neither of those will work. So long as you use a wire that would be sturdy enough, you should be fine. Yeah. In your next tutorial, can you show us how to make Terezi's cane or cape? I could show you how to make a cape. It's super duper easy. I could even show you how to make basic shapes out of the clay that I use, but it might not be specifically Terezi's. I don't know. I don't know what the future has in store. Could you make Eridan's gun? Again, I could make a gun, but again, there are some really amazing tutorials out there on how to make specific character related things, so definitely check those out. Doesn't take too long, just do a quick Google. Try some Google image stuff as well. Don't always go by videos. You can definitely get a lot of stuff from just panel related tutorials. Those are really cool, so check those out by all means. Can I use model magic? Yes, you can use any foam clay. Model magic is a type of foam clay. Any clay that is super duper light and airy, so long as you don't use something that's kind of earthy and heavy and rock-like, you need to use something that is really light. That is so important. Don't use oven-baked clays because it will crack. You're best to use foam clays, so use Model Magic. That's the same thing as what I used. You can use other brands. I know that there are other brands of foam clay, but I'm not sure what they're called. And yeah, so those were all of the questions. I hope that this was useful to some of you. I'm going to put this video in the comments of my Trident video, as well as having it just here for your general knowledge and use. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, all of that jazz. Give it a share as well, why not? So I will see you next week. Bye!